Hey guys, Kane here, and in this video we're going to talk about how to start up well in the Hero Squad game. Now, before we continue, I have to tell you that this game is getting an insane amount of updates, and those updates are bringing you heroes like probably two heroes almost every week. I'm not entirely sure, but considering that we can see about every 10 days we have an event for two new heroes, we already have like a prefix of what races and what classes those heroes will be. So that aside, I am currently running the Elves and the Shadow Blades race, or rather formation. So what this formation does is that the elves heroes do an additional basic attack, and their basic attack is increased. Now this, again, as explained in quite a few other videos, you can do 3 basic attacks and a skill at the same turn. And that is kind of overpowered, at least in the very beginning of the server. So, overpowered in a sense that you can easily clear the cube relic, which will give you more stats, more bonuses than majority of the other players on your server. In the version of clearing hidden tower, further ahead than majority of other players. And then we have the dragons. So the reason that the elves and the shadow blades are good at the bosses is that because on a couple of them, I think mainly Marsha and the chubs, the elves can do a lot of damage and do probably the most damage on these bosses compared to majority of the other races or factions or formations. And the thing is, these scores, or the score that you can see on the screen, you can literally do in the very early game, or when you reach, I think, 4.5 million power, 4.9, something like that, you can easily reach this score. And considering that I have checked what my other server mates were doing, they were doing like 250%, barely doing like 300, some of them, I think, or even none of them. So the assassin kind of takes over in the infinite stages just because of the amount of DPS that they can do. And this stage is insane, and it can one-shot your army quite quickly. I have done this, I think, a few days ago in a few tries. I still don't have like quite a few hours in a day to just keep retrying majority of these, but eventually I will probably make a video on each of them and show off the formation which I would have, or I got like the main score in. But that aside, yeah, the elves and the shadow blades are pretty much top for the dragon caves, at least from my own experience and in my own opinion. So, not only that the elves and the shadow blades particularly excel at PvE, they also excel at PvP as well. Now, I'm not entirely sure whether or not I'm going to win the fight that I will show you, but we might as well try. So, yeah. So I'm gonna do a formation like this. I think this one should be okay. Now, as you can see, the power is, I think, 600 or 700 towards the enemy, or the enemy has over me. So as you can see, my front line is almost down. The healer is almost down. We took care of one of them. His front line went into the ice. Uh-huh. Yeah, as you have seen, the Orlando just literally friggin' one-shot like one of their main DPS. And I think the fight is settled. I'm not. Yeah, the fight is settled. So, as you can see, this is pretty much why that the elves and assassins kind of excel at what they do. So, as you can see, my Sasan is the highest power on my formation, but the Orlando did the most damage by one-shotting one of their core DPSs on the field. And I do know that his Achilles kind of does an insane amount of damage. Now, as you can see, He has 6.1 million power here, but during the fight, I think it counted the formation bonuses and added an extra 200,000. For me, it shows, I do believe, the same or even less than what's shown here. So as you can see, the Elves and the Shadow Blades, they do perform well in both the PvE content and the PvP content. I'm not entirely sure how long this will last, but considering if you will be playing free to play, this is probably your best bet to be efficient, to get more stuff, than to be able to pull more heroes and have more variety eventually. So keep in mind that I have played this game less than a month and I have my main team Immortal with a couple of stars in them. I have additional 4 heroes Immortal. I can get like probably 4 or 5 more heroes Immortal just because they are like red and plus. And a lot of other heroes red quality, a lot of other heroes orange quality. The majority of like the formations, these heroes with the diamond up above them, which would be considered like the core heroes, those are very crucial for every formation. So those, the more you pull heroes, the more chances you have for them and the more formations you will be able to do. Currently, I only have 2 core heroes very high up there, and I don't think I have any others high up there. 1 second. Yeah, no, majority of my other core heroes are just orange because you need a huge quantity of them. So again, the faster you become efficient, and Elves and Shadow Blades are insanely efficient, the better you are. And the last event that I will show you is the an event which you get for them adding new heroes. And in this event, you also have a ranking, and in this ranking, you get diamonds per day. As well as you just do some quests, you clear some stuff here, you have like the daily challenges. Now, keep in mind the first couple of weeks, you will have a very hard time competing and a very hard time completing the dailies here. However, if you're playing the rogues, or rather the Elves and the Shadow Blades, you can easily just max it even by friggin' sweeping. Like, I even placed a random formation right now, and I almost maxed it out. However, just let me adjust the formation in a second. Yeah, basically I just run something like this. I already have a prefix formation, 1 clear, and it's already over 200. Did another try and it's almost 300. Now, if I would skip a few more times, I'd probably reach like 450, maybe higher than that, but I really don't need to do that, as not like literally no one on my realm will even try to contest me. By realm, I mean the server. So majority of the time, majority of the PvE content is yours if you do run this race and like you're the strongest one on your server. So pretty much that is like the main thing for beginners to properly start out in the game. You have to select a specific faction, and there are 6 factions. So to quickly cover most of them, the Elves and the Shadow Blades are excelling in the quick damage, or like the burst damage, which majority of the time wins you everything. Orcs are like the tanks, or the tanky formation, which can counter the Elves and the Shadow Blades. The mages, they can double cast, which means they can wipe the entire field, so they're good at some particular PvE content, but proper elf build can also do similar like the mages, but the mages also can one-shot the rogues during PvP. In the version of like this core hero Zion on the picture, it's pretty damn overpowered, and sometimes at some particular times in your server you will experience Zion one-shotting your field. The dwarves and the sorcerers, this is probably one of the weakest races from the making of this video. Elementals and hunters, I've heard good things about them, and a lot of players do tend to play them and play them well from what I've seen, though I'm not entirely sure how well they perform in PvE and PvP. In PvP, I think a lot of players said a lot of good things, but I have not seen proper replays or pictures, so I cannot really say that much. And humans and knights, now I have a player who's VIP 11 and plays this formation, and he can beat my formation rather quite easily. Now he's higher VIP, a higher power, so as example that can be expected, I suppose, but I've tried literally almost any formation with the heroes that I have. I've tried swapping art relics, I've tried swapping even heroes. I tried even upgrading particular other heroes, and when he was like 400,000, a bit more, I think, above me, he still was able to do the same as he's like 700 right now. So pretty much placement does matter if you are orc warrior or human knight, and you can actually beat like one of the more OP formations in the game, which is the elves and assassins. So keep that in mind. The formation is OP, but it also has weaknesses, as do majority of the formations here. So this would kind of be my suggestion for the majority of the players. Now, a lot of features only open up to you after like 1 to 2 weeks in the game. Majority of like the big gears, like the big features, power, and all the other stuff do unlock a couple of weeks in the game. Either the higher you reach the campaign, or I think it just has like a prefix date of 2 weeks. So anyways, currently that's pretty much it for the beginner's guide. Other than that, like the game has many features, you can get many diamonds, many materials, you can upgrade so quick. Even from these basic events, you're able to get heroes outright, not in this particular chest, but you can get a selection of any of your choice of these 8 heroes, I think 4 or 5 times, and literally any player is able to get them. So it's not literally locked to almost just a couple of players buying stuff or whatever. There is a specific amount that you can get, and you will always get them. So this game, insanely generous. You have to be efficient. If you become efficient, or if you play efficiently, you will be one of the top players in your realm. And I can assure you that the Elves and the Shadow Blades will help you achieve that. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and stay safe out there.